evidence. We're going to look at the text and we're going to learn how to pull evidence for our argument from the text. Have you had experience with doing this?
Yeah.
Yes, great. So what do I want to do when I want to cite evidence from the text? What am I doing?
You can. You're pulling information from the text to support your answer.
Yes, correct. You're pulling information from the text to support your answer. So today we're going to look at a story called 2 Days with No Phone. What do we think? Let's do some pre-reading assessment. When you hear that title, 2 Days with No Phone, what is the first thing that you think of?
Somebody volunteered to get their phone taken from them for 2 days.
Okay, I couldn't hear you. What did you say?
Somebody volunteered to get their phone taken from them for 2 days.
Okay, could be voluntary. Could it be involuntary?
Yeah. Like grounding. Yeah, grounding, or your phone is dead or something.
Yeah. Grounding. Maybe your phone has died and you can't charge it back up. And so 2 days with no phone is what we're going to talk about. There are a couple of words that I would like for you to focus on and write this down on the back of your paper. Statistics. The first word would be statistics. When you think of the word statistics, what do you think statistics means?
Like a set of data or numbers.
A set of data, numbers. Anything else?
They present information.
They present information.
Like a number of people, a percentage.
Exactly. Can you think of something that can be presented as a statistic?
Population.
Population? Yes. As we can say, 20% of Americans vote. Is that a statistic?
Yes.
Yes. All right. The next word would be access. ACCESS. When we say access, what do you think we mean?
Like go into.
Yeah.
Like allowed into.
Yeah, to go into something, to be allowed into something. Exactly. What about depressed?
Sad.
Sad.
Lonely.
Makes you feel
Not-
sad and lonely.
Not feeling good.
Exactly, exactly. Isolated.
Like alone.
Yeah, yeah. If I'm feeling alone, I feel isolated. And finally, addiction.
Drawn to something.
I'm drawn to something that I cannot resist.
Maybe
Yeah.
something harmful that you can't get away from.
Something harmful that I cannot get away from. All those sound reasonable. So what I want us to do first, now that we've looked at, we said that 2 days with no phone means I've even voluntarily or involuntarily given up access to my phone. And then we've gone over some words that we're going to discuss in the story. Take some time now and go ahead and read the story. All right, so have you guys already read this already? You guys read through this already? All right. All right. All right, so we're going to move on. We're going to pretend like that you just read it since we already had time to read it. All right. We're going to get ready to go into the second part. All right. All right, great. We've read the story. The next thing I want us to do, I want us to break up into small groups, partners, and we're going to discuss the questions that we have listed on the handout that I gave you. The first question that I would like for you to discuss is what effect might too much texting, have on a student's relationship? What effect does too much texting have on a student relationship? And then I would like another group to discuss what is sleep texting. Okay, let's break up into small groups. All right. So now what we're going to do now, you two take your chairs and push back. Just go straight back. Take your papers with you as well. All right. So you two, can you guys see them in the camera? No, you can't see them. You can see them. You can see them, Michael. Yeah. All right. right, y'all slide back even further until Michael tells y'all to stop. All right. In fact, I tell you what, move over this way in the corner. All right. Now, you guys talk about the effect of too much texting on relationships, okay? And then you guys have a talk. Am I out of the shot? All right.
Okay.
Action.
Okay, well, when they're texting, they don't really pay attention to what's around them. So, like, if they're at home eating dinner, they'll be texting and their parents are going to try to talk to them and they're just going to be like, whatever.
Yeah, and they don't get enough face-to-face interaction.
Yeah. Yeah, it says here, the first page, that, let's see, some people also worry that because teens text so much, they don't spend enough time talking with others face to face.
Yeah.
So that could be hurting their relationships with family and friends. Plus, all that texting and time on social media takes away from hours that could be spent studying, exercising, pursuing a hobby, or just relaxing.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, or so yeah, they're with their friends, and they might be texting their friends, but they're not actually communicating.
Yeah, interacting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Stop. All right. Now, next to, just, you don't have to move your chairs. Just take your papers, go sit in the chairs that are in the back. The other two come sit in these chairs. You guys are going to talk about what is sleep texting, and make sure, remember, to pull some information just like they did from the text in your discussion.
Okay.
All right. Ready? Start.
I think sleep texting is when like you can't like get any sleep and you wake up like during the night at a certain period of time. Text.
Yeah, it says on page 5, it says Dr. Dalden says that it's common for teens to sleep and to be interrupted by texts, and then they want to send text messages back even when they're tired.
And it also says that loss of sleep can cause obesity and you can be grumpy during the day. So it kind of messes up your whole lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I think that that students should sleep text because it's bad.
And it messes up your routine in the morning.
Not good. Not good.
All right. Stop. All right. Everybody pull the chairs back. Let's pull back in place. You don't have to. All right, we ready? All right. So now that we had an opportunity to talk in our small groups, what information have we learned? Have we learned anything different about texting?
That you can, like a lot of people, you can lose sleep by just waking up at night and just texting instead of sleeping.
Okay. Has anyone here had an experience where you've slept text?
No, my phone is not equipped for that kind of procedure because it's kind of bootleg. Yeah. But I know my cousin. He sleep texts a lot, and he sleeps during the day basically because he doesn't get any sleep at night.
Okay.
I've had an experience. It was a school night, and my friend texted me, and I wanted to text that person back, and then we had a conversation for like another hour, and it was probably about like midnight or 11-ish.
Okay.
Like my sister, she's a senior, but like she texts like really late into the night, so I'm staying up finishing a project, and the light in her room is off, and I can hear like her phone buzzing like one after another.
Okay. So what effect do we think that sleep texting has on our grades?
Well, if you're not like, it can mess up like your thinking, and you can't think clearly. So if you're not focused like during a test or like during assignments, you could like spell stuff clearly, daydream, and like lose focus.
Okay? So if we wanted to create an argument about sleep texting being bad, what evidence can we pull from the text to show?
There's a quote that says, plus all that texting and time on social media takes away from hours that could be spent studying, exercising, pursuing a hobby, or just relaxing.
Mhm. Anyone else can pull evidence from the text?
Yeah, it says adolescents need a solid 8 to 10, even 11 hours of sleep to really function and think clearly.
Exactly. So if I'm writing a paper, if I'm building an argument, and I'm called upon to use text to respond to a writing prompt, I want to make sure that I pull evidences from the text. And so a great way to do that would be to cite quotations. I noticed doing your individual work when you worked in pairs that you went back to the text to show how this texting or sleep texting can be detrimental, how it can be harmful. And then you actually applied that to your personal life. And you said, well, my cousin sleep texts, and this is the result of what happens as a result of that. And so that's something that you want to do when you write your writing prompt. You want to show this is what the text says, create a quotation, and then apply it to your personal life or to a current event. So you could show that texting is bad, even if it were not sleep texting. What are some other times that we text that can be detrimental?
Like some students, they text during class.
They text during class, it could be detrimental since we have a policy for no cell phones out in class. What are some other times that we text that could be harmful to us, particularly for high school students?
It says that one concern is that students might not learn correct grammar and spelling if most of the writings are abbreviations.
That is correct. A great evidence for testing when we write it during the writing prompts. Also, some students text while driving, is that correct? Could that be a problem?
Yes, that could be a problem because you might not pay attention to the road and you can lose control.
Exactly, exactly. So what I would like for us to do next, go back to our graphic organizer and look at our questions. Write out your response, how you initially would respond to the question, and then I want you to go and look at the text and pull back some text evidence and list it in the text evidence column. So let's take a few moments and do that. So we're about 3 minutes away from being finished. All right, outstanding. So now, in your questions, we talked about this thing called addiction. And we said in our pre-reading that addiction is something that you cannot resist. So would you think that some of your classmates can be addicted to texting?
Yes,
And why would you say that? Just from personal evidence.
because addiction is like you can't like stay away from it.
Mm-hmm.
So when some people lose their phone, they kind of go crazy, think they don't have like nothing left, and they just one thing they can think about is having their phone to text or call somebody.
Okay.
And like some of those people in like cliques where they always text
want us to do for home learning, I want us to determine, because there is a diagnosed illness of the fear of losing your cell phone. I want you to find out what the name of that illness is and some of the symptoms of individuals who have that illness. And then when we come back together next class, we'll talk about the fear of losing our cell phones and look at some of the text evidence to show that some of our friends and maybe some of our family members have that fear. Okay? Are there any questions about what we're going to be doing next class? All right, have a great day. All right, cut. You guys can leave that on the table.